Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I've had a number of requests to talk about my drill grinder. Here recently I put up a little video of sharpening a drill bit on this, and there was quite a bit of response to it, and I had a lot of people ask could I make a dedicated video to this. I've actually shown this drill grinder before. It's been quite a while. Probably a few years back, you know, the earlier years of my channel, I showed this, and I showed hand grinding a drill bit on the pedestal grinder. But working on a job right now, and I need to touch up one of my drill bits. I pulled this 11/16 out of my index, and it's got some chipped edges on it, so I want to regrind it. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to use this grinder and then make a video to share it with you guys out there. Okay. So everybody wanted to know what kind of drill grinder this is. This is a Lisle model 91,000 drill grinder. Let me see. Yes, 91000 is the model number. Lisle was known for making automotive type tooling, and I don't know much about that company, but I do know that they don't build this anymore. It's not available, and it's really a shame because this is a really good grinder. It works well, and it'll grind from 1/8 all the way up to 1 1/4 inch, and you can drill taper shanks. You can drill 3 and 4 flute drills on it. I mean, you name it. So it's a really good versatile grinder, and it's always worked well. This is the fixture right here or the jig maybe, that you put your drill bit in, and this is what you use to grind the drill. So I'll kind of go over it a little bit and see if I can share with you how I grind a drill bit. I did want to share with you, you know, how we got this, and I think it's kind of funny when I think back to the way my dad's sense of humor was. He was very dry, and we got a box in one day, and this is probably when I was in my very early 20s, been in the shop a few years, and there was a box that come in from MSC, you know, and we always love seeing the UPS truck pull up, right? We still do. We still love seeing the UPS truck come up when you know you got tools ordered and you're expecting those to come in. So I remember the UPS guy came in one day, and he had this big box from MSC, and I didn't know what was ordered, you know, and I'd asked Dad, I was like, hey, did you order some tools? And he says, I don't know, look in there and see what's in there. So I opened this box up, and inside that box was another box for this Lisle drill grinder. So I pulled it out, opened up, looked at it, and I remember Dad saying, oh, it looks like your granddad bought you a drill grinder. So I don't know if Granddad actually bought this or if Dad bought it, because I would suspect that Dad's the one that bought this drill grinder. He just gave my granddad the credit for it. But he was always trying to get some affordable tooling around the shop for me to help, you know, do a better job at what it was we did there at the shop. So he had already taught me how to hand grind a drill bit. So apparently this must have come up in a sale maybe at MSC, so my dad picked it up. So I always remember that. I just thought that was funny because he was just so easygoing about it. He goes, oh, looks like your granddad bought you a drill grinder. You know, that was it. And then it was, all right, learn how to use it and grind drill bits. So Dad never actually used this. He always made me use it. So when he needed a drill bit ground, he gave it to me and said, go grind this drill bit. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this thing. I'll show you how it works, okay? First thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this dresser right here. This is a diamond tip tool. In this shank, this is turned down to fit inside this holder right here. You stick that in there, and then we'll just take a wrench and snug that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to dress the wheel. You can see it's got a little bit of contamination on it, loading up from grinding several drill bits right there. So alright, I've got my safety glasses on. We're going to turn it on, and what we do is use this handle down here, and it runs it back and forth. So run the tool up with this knob, So it just touches, and run it back and forth. And go in just a bit. Alright, that should be dressed nicely right there. We'll point out a couple things on the grinder before we actually set the drill bit up. The sticker is gone right here, but there is a scribed line on this and a pointer on this guy right here, and you can loosen this up and rotate this, and this what will change your angle on the drill. So this thing is set up by default when you go to that line to cut a jobber drill or 118 degree point. Okay, I do have the sticker, I saved it, put away just in case I want to glue it back on there, but you can rotate this to grind your 120 degree or 180 degree, whatever you want. Okay, but I just leave this thing set. You can also loosen this guy right here and slide this, you know, either way. And again, I always leave it right there where it needs to be. There's very little reason why you have to move this guy right here. All right, this is what you use to feed in this knob right here, and there's a sleeve that's spring loaded right here. Once you get your first flute ground, so you go in with it and you're grinding it, and you watch the grind over here, I watch on this side, and you get it to where you want it, you lock this set screw right there, and what that'll do, you back this out, that sleeve is your stop. So you rotate your drill to the other side, and then you go into your grind, you know, do your grinding, and then it's going to come up, and I just like that, it's going to stop at the same exact point that you ground your other tool bit, I mean the other side, your other cutting edge. Okay, so we'll loosen that up. Now this one right here allows you to position the drill bit where you want on the wheel. Okay, so this is the jig that you stick your drill bit in, the clamp that holds it. You got a V-block that helps support the longer drill bits, and then your stop. And this is also very important too. You gotta be sure to set your stop once you have your drill clamped in there the way you want. You can also flip this guy over, and it's got that little rod there that comes up inside the V. You actually will remove this right here, and it'll go up inside this V, so whenever you're grinding very short, small drill bits, you have a proper stop for it. Alright, on this end of the jig here, there is another sticker. This is much like the sticker that fell off right there. And you're supposed to position this guy on what size drill bit you're using, but I usually leave it right there in the center, and it's always worked well for me, just not to have to reset this thing every time I'm sorry, I bumped the camera, every time I have to regrind a drill bit. So I leave this right around the 5/8 mark on there. And also notice this right here, so you can loosen this screw, and there's a scratch right there, and then there's 3 points. What this is your relief angle on the back side of the flute. So I leave it positioned right about in the very middle, and that seems to be a good general down the road relief angle for the drill bits that I grind here with that. But you can reduce it or increase it right there, and you do that by loosening that screw, loosening that bolt, and then that'll allow you to move that. So there's a little bit involved with this thing. It took me a while to figure out how to properly set this thing up, but once you figure it out and you understand it, then it's a no-brainer. It's kind of like riding a bike. You know exactly what to do every time. So here's the other side that can be very confusing too, and this is the hardest part with trying to teach somebody how to use this drill grinder. Now I'm going to try to give you guys a shot at it right here. But this is how you set your flute. This guy right here, and it also comes out, and that is for different diameter drill bits, okay? And if you notice on the face of that, there is a line. Can you see that line there? Whenever you set your drill in there, you need to line the cutting edge of your flute up with that line. And it has to be out far enough so that once you line your cutting edge up with that, you clamp it tight, and then you have to push this guy over to the lip, and that creates your stop for whenever you rotate it around. So let's go ahead and do that. I know, see, I told you it's very confusing. We're going to go ahead and stick this in here. Now my stop is a little too high. I'm going to just go ahead and bring that down out of the way. My support is a little too low, so I'm having to bring that up. You want it about like that. Alright, let's see if I can get this. I'm giving you guys my most best angle I got right there. So you want to bring that up until it's about even with the flute. I'm going to raise this up about 1/8 of an inch over this. That's about 1/8 of an inch above it, and I'm trying to line up this cutting edge with that line. And let me look at it. It looks like it's just about perfect right there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this knob up, and that will clamp it right there. So it's clamped down tight. Go ahead and adjust your stop on the bottom all the way up. Snug it. Okay. Now, this is where you have to kick this guy over. Kick it over right there until it touches the front cutting edge. That is your stop. And then you tighten your screws back up. You got to tighten up both of them. I hold it over with my thumb so that it doesn't move. Okay, so now we are set up to grind this drill bit right there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick this in our holder right here. There is a ball detent right here. There's a little groove on that shank, so you can push it until that keeps it from trying to float in or out, okay? And you're going to be rocking it just like this. So this is where you move your drill bit out, and then we're going to go ahead and raise it up. Bring it up as close to the wheel. And I want it to the left side of the wheel so that I don't grind the stop that we just set right there. Alright, we're just about ready to go. I'll go ahead and turn it on and get it started. So you just rock it while slowly infeeding it. And see, I'm back here on the back side, and I'm looking at that flute to see where it's been ground and when it cleans up. You can't really see it when you're looking at it this way right here. But that's already cleaned that side up, but I think I started with the side that didn't have the chip in it. So I may have to flip this back over and do it again. I'm just rocking it a few times to let it kind of spark out. Alright. Make sure that the knob here is tight for your stop. And then we're going to bring it out. We're going to back it out. Push it out with my thumb. You see that grind? Does a perfect job every time right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is loosen this clamp, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and you see this is where that stop comes into play right there. So you want to rotate the drill up to that. You want to make sure you're down on your bottom stop. So you got to be all the way in the bottom and against this. Snug the clamp, and you should be ready to do the other side. So we're going to stick this in here. Let me see if I can give you a different angle to look at this, okay? And we'll try that. I know you're going to get a glare, but that needs to stay on there. So we're running it up, and we should have a stop once we have it ground where we want. I'm going to start rotating it. You don't want to take too much at one time, so a little at a time. It'll load up and it'll start burning it. But it's looking like it's doing a good job, and we're going to get it done the first try here. Alright, I'm all the way up against my stop down here on the very bottom. And I think that's good, so we're going to go ahead and back it out. What do you think? Like I said, it does a good job every time. So you can see the relief angle on the back, the clearance angle. So that could actually stand to be reduced a bit and lighten that up. But when you change this relief angle for here, it affects it depending on the diameter of the drill bit that you're doing. But this always works pretty good for me right there. So we'll go ahead and loosen this clamp and take it out of the jig and inspect your work. I think that looks pretty good. It looks like a factory made grind right there.